Why is Jennifer Lopez flopping so hard in 2024? Let's take a look at the 10 embarrassing moments that ruined her career. First up, almost no celebrities wanted to be in her movie. Now, in order for Jennifer to execute her musical film the way she envisioned the project, she had to front the budget herself. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she revealed that she self-financed the movie, which cost $20 million in total to produce. J.Lo also had a very hard time booking celebrity cameos. In one scene, the casting director tells her, "We sent out all the offers last night to everybody, and we're waiting to hear back from a few people, like Jane Fonda." A voice off camera then says Taylor Swift is a no, Jason Momoa is not available, Jennifer Coolidge not available, Lizzo not available. J.Lo then says it'd be good to get Bad Bunny to do a little cameo as the bad kid, but of course that never ended up happening. It must have been a red flag that all these big names were turning down her project, but she didn't seem too bothered by it. She said, "I don't want to force anybody to do this who doesn't go, this is going to be fun. Nobody wants to say no to me, Benny, I get that, but when an actor doesn't like a script or doesn't think it's good enough or is worried about it, that's what they'll say. I know that, I've done it." That then brings us to our next point, that she was caught lying in her documentary. Now, the project sparked controversy and backlash on TikTok, all because of the way Jennifer was talking about her upbringing in the Bronx. Now, in the documentary, Jennifer says the greatest love story never told is about facing the truth of who you really are. But that clip completely backfired when it went viral, as fans started accusing her of misrepresenting herself. Now, they see her as performative and insincere and accused her of exaggerating her working class background, as well as her connection to the Bronx. One super clip that inspired many mocking imitations showed Jennifer tousle her hair while looking into a mirror, reminiscing about her childhood. She says, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams." But even though she loves speaking about the Bronx, it's a place she actively avoids. And the reason we know that comes down to an awful ad campaign. The central premise of the ad was that sometimes J.Lo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Now, although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which has been a solid part of her image since the 90s. Now, in fact, she even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. A press release at the time stated that she'd be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But that ad backfired when it was reported that she never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in was used instead. Talk about faking it. Next, we have to talk about all the public fights. It's become pretty obvious that their marital bliss isn't quite as it seems, because there's now repeated incidents of Ben Affleck and Jennifer being caught arguing on camera. Now, the incident that occurred was shortly after Jennifer's Today interview, with the couple filmed having what looked like a tense argument at a fight for her new movie shot. In a clip that quickly went viral on TikTok, J.Lo appears to taste Ben's drink and then looks at him sternly. She seems visibly upset with her husband as he tries to defend himself and repeatedly says, "Jen." He could also be seen yelling over the music that he did not drink anything. Now, it was theorized at the time that Ben is insisting that he hasn't been drinking alcohol and that she was tasting his drink to check in the video. Now, Ben has been open about his recovery from alcoholism and has been to rehab multiple times over the years, like in 2001, 2017, and 2018. Now, that video has been viewed around 2 million times so far, but surprisingly, most people seem to think that Jennifer is being unsupportive of Ben's struggles. Someone wrote, "They just seem exhausting. This marriage will never see 18 months. Another person commented, "It just looks like she doesn't trust him, picked up the drink to taste it. He's clearly upset." And there seems to be a lot of truth to that. Now let's talk about JLo's most embarrassing moment of all, when Ben slammed the car door in her face. Now the couple went viral once again while running errands in Santa Monica. Video captured of that moment shows Ben looking upset while walking to his car. He then opens the car door for Jennifer so she can get in, but once she's inside, he pretty much slams it shut. Now when that moment was shared on Twitter, everyone started guessing why he was so angry. Was it because they had gotten into an argument, or was it something else? One person wrote, maybe he's just irritated because someone is recording him. I imagine that would get very old. Another person wrote, I'm sure he's just annoyed at people pointing their phones at them while they're trying to do normal stuff. Now considering that JLo and Ben are one of the most recognizable people in the world, there's bound to be paparazzi following them around all day. Now it's really no wonder that he feels frustrated, and maybe that's why he's been seen in such a dark mood recently. Moving on to the embarrassing feud with her makeup artist. Scott Barnes, who's worked for JLo for the past 20 years, has had to deal with so much of her crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, she essentially banished him after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Mark Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Now speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, and when asked about how JLo treated him, Scott said, quote, it was like I had the plague. Interestingly enough, eventually she ended up giving him his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, quote, I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again, which is even weirder. The funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remain on good terms, despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize. On to the feud with Shakira. JLo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. She said, if it's gonna be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes, that's what they should have effing done. Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time, as opposed to doubling it and giving the woman extra time to shine. Now as a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the woman for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What JLo was really mad about though is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform. But judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they asked her to share the stage at all. Next up, we have the music theft. It's no secret that Jennifer Lopez has been accused of stealing or borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. One of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that JLo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, I hate it, but I better get some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect JLo to just take it. And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, JLo was also given songs that were initially intended for Ashanti, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September of 2021, JLo released I'm Real from her second studio album that she worked with Irv Gotti, but the song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you still hear her background vocals in Jennifer's version. Moving on to the cheating allegation. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on-again, off-again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Bennifer. Now, I mean, these two just got married last year after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago. But the timeline of this relationship is a huge red flag and included alleged cheating. So in July of 2002, JLo filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after JLo had wrapped the movie Gilgy alongside her then boyfriend, Ben. Now, even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter gushing about Jennifer before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accusing J-Lo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Jill G. I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer, and added that she'd be happier if she told the truth and that no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing to her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. And lastly, we have that humiliating interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined J-Lo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time, fresh off the success of her film Selena. Now she basically decided to trash all other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career and contributions to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Now, it was so ironic because J-Lo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Now, at the time, Madonna had been a star for longer than J-Lo, so there was really no comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously by saying, "Tell me what she's been in, I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." Yikes. So, how do you feel about Jennifer Lopez? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next video.